hanging out there in a vessel. They're on their way to Kessel. They all are arguing so much they might just start to wrestle. This is our review of Season 7, Episode 6, it's not 11. You are father and I am son, and my name is not Evan.
That was pretty incredible.
Thank you.
You just summed up the entire episode in like 10 seconds.
I did.
That was awesome. Okay, this is the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 6 review. I'm getting better and better at this.
Yes, the intro, yeah. Like
Yeah.
you're saying yeah.
Sometimes I can do it, but not all the time.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
feel like that's a song. I feel like there's a song in there somewhere.
Probably. All right, let's get into it. You ready?
Sometimes, but not all the time, we try to say the words right.
So this is not really a huge talking point, but I did think it was funny when Trace asked Ahsoka where she went to school or what academy she went to, and she said Skywalker Academy.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool, and I think that showcased really Ahsoka relates her teaching most of all to Anakin.
Yeah.
Because and in the previous episode, she did say when Trace asked her about where she learned to fight, Ahsoka said her older brother taught her.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that just proves it right there.
Another thing that I think is cool in that scene is Dave Filoni's doing a really good job of establishing the difference in the lower levels of Coruscant versus where Ahsoka was in the Jedi Temple. And again, we talked about this last episode, how Ahsoka could just go anywhere she wanted to go and do anything she wanted to do. But now she's in this place where she realizes that people have to do, like, basically whatever they have to do in order to survive. Two entirely different worlds.
Yeah, she ain't living on much to go to have a life outside of the Jedi Temple. She doesn't have a lot of credits.
Yep.
She just doesn't have a lot of resources.
Yep.
You know, all that she has is right now is just that bike. That's Trace named Trash.
So, which was pretty funny.
Yes.
All right, I thought this
Dun, dun, dun.
I thought this part was really cool. It's when Trace gets in the military lane, and she's not supposed to when she's flying the ship out, and then they accidentally pass Anakin's ship.
Anakin's cruiser.
And Anakin senses Ahsoka. And you're the one that called this, and I think it's really neat. It's a throwback to when Luke is on the shuttle with Leia and Han, and Vader senses him, and he's like, I shouldn't have come. I've endangered the mission.
Yeah, like in Return of the Jedi when Vader senses Luke, because Vader knew who that was.
Yeah.
And I think that was a callback to that. And here's a point I would like to bring up, and I never mentioned this to you, I wanted to save it for this video. But you know, Yularen said he was just about to arrest the crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if Anakin really knew it was Ahsoka on the ship, why didn't he have that happen? Because that would have been his ticket to seeing her again.
That is very interesting.
And I think it was the same. I think he just knew that Ahsoka needed to find her own path. I think it was one of those kind of deals.
Yeah.
So he said, it's nothing. Just let it go.
Oh my gosh, I just noticed something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even notice this. Look what shirt you're wearing.
Yes.
You're wearing your Solo shirt.
Yes.
And so
when I was picking the shirt out, and I was like, okay, I can do this one. And then I thought, oh yes, this would be the perfect shirt to wear.
Yes, because I think this is a cool tie-in, and I don't know if this is done on purpose. I think it might be to tie into the Solo movie, because Solo's the first time we actually really got a good glimpse of the spice mines of Kessel.
We saw it in Rebels. The very first episode of Rebels with the Wookiees.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I totally forgot about that. That's a very good point. But I totally think that Dave Filoni is going to use this to tie in to the Solo movie, and I think it's a really cool aspect of it. And how we get to the spice mines of Kessel, they're bringing that in, and the other part was the other side of Kessel, which we've not seen yet.
That is very interesting. That's definitely what intrigued me in this episode, was the fact that obviously that they said they were on Kessel. We knew they were on Kessel, but I just didn't know that Kessel ever had a forest, beautiful trees, green and all that. Like there was a castle, and like
It's
this
kind of
does
like
not look like Kessel.
kind of like Takodana.
Yeah, it is kind of like Takodana, except with more trees.
Mm-hmm.
And even Ahsoka said when they finally entered the mining thing, like she's like, "This is the Kessel I know from the story, from the stories."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that because they're bringing in the spice mines, and then later we see, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, about the Pikes,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that we'll see Hondo in this season. I want to see Hondo.
That would be a fun surprise, honestly.
Yeah.
Would be to see Hondo, because then Ahsoka would kind of see him for the last time.
Yeah.
Or unless she did see him somewhere in between Rebels and this.
Could be.
Could be. It very well could have happened, but I do think it would be fun. Because I was actually honestly thinking about that. Like, say, the way the episode ends, I might see him. He might have gotten in some bad poodoo.
Could be. Okay, so we also find out in this episode that Trace is really not the greatest pilot. We don't know, she really doesn't have much experience.
Yeah.
In the cockpit.
And then Rafa didn't even want to originally pick her.
Exactly.
And then Trace wasn't too happy about that.
And we also find out when she dumps the spice that she might be a little crazy.
I don't know exactly. I feel bad for Ahsoka, honestly. Yeah. I do feel bad for Ahsoka because Rafa is not, she's a little not...
Yeah, Rafa and Trace are both a little off here.
Yeah, they are, a little bit,
I think it's because they're out of their element and they don't know exactly what they're getting themselves into.
They don't at all. I mean, and again, like we talked about in the last episode, Trace is really just... She really just wants to be a pilot. That's just it. She cares about her ship, and she seems to be obsessed with it a little bit. And also we have, again, the trust issues between Rafa and Ahsoka, and Rafa's trying... It's almost like a tug of war between Trace is the rope, and then Rafa and Ahsoka are the people trying to pull it.
Yes.
It's like Ahsoka's trying to influence her in good ways, because she knows that Rafa might be a bad influence, which she is, and that they're struggling with that.
It's kind of like a father and son who decide to start a YouTube channel who have never done it before. Here is what I think is the meat of the episode. Is when they finally get to the Pikes and we realize that the Pikes are involved because those guys are dirty, rotten, low-down scoundrels.
They are, and if you see right there, here's what we're thinking.
Yes.
The Pikes are part of the Shadow Collective, which is a group that Darth Maul started earlier in the Clone Wars in his attempt to try to bring a bunch of crime lords together in order to take over Mandalore.
Yes.
Which succeeded. And so the Pikes still have a connection to Maul. Therefore, we're thinking that this might be what leads Ahsoka to Mandalore and to Maul.
Exactly.
To her alliance with Bo-Katan.
Yes.
And all, because this season is only 12 episodes. Season 7 is only 12 episodes.
Yep.
We're on season 6. We're on episode 6 right now. So they're gonna have to try to fit a lot of tying in order to make this work.
Yeah, but it's definitely a cool way to do it.
Definitely.
To bring the Pikes in, and of course, I think that's going to tie in with what we see at the end of Solo, where Darth Maul is with the Shadow Collective and the Pikes are involved in that. So
that would be cool.
This is all, I think, coming to a good conclusion.
Yeah, I think because the Pikes were part of his original team, so Maul's original team.
All right, so at the end of the episode, we get a cliffhanger for sure. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens the very next episode.
Very interesting. I mean, this could lead to Hondo, like we were talking about.
Yep.
Like, say they get put in prison, and somehow Hondo ended up in prison.
Yep.
On some...
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, like bad poodoo, like we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
And I think it would be hilarious and awesome if Hondo came in.
Yeah, I think so too.
As far as the cliffhanger is concerned, again, this could lead to Maul. This could be the bridge to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Also, forgot to mention that, again, Ahsoka is forced to use the Force.
Again.
To mind trick.
And she's still able to keep it a secret, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And, here's something I wanted to point out. It was also emphasized, Rafa in this episode is, weirded out of how much Ahsoka knows about the galaxy. And, of course, she's a Jedi, so that's why she knows.
Yep.
But this also touches on what we talked about in the one review episode about Anakin knowing everything.
Ah.
Ahsoka is a Padawan, and she knows all this stuff. She knows all this stuff, and she was only a Padawan. Anakin is a Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
And again, that's what we're talking about his... turn into Vader, how that was bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ahsoka, this whole thing with Ahsoka knowing so much about the galaxy and about certain parts of, like the Pikes and all that, just emphasizes what we were talking about.
All right, I think we're going to get some magical moment that maybe like Trace and Rafa are in like big, huge trouble, and the only way for Ahsoka to get him out of trouble is for her to go like full Jedi.
Yeah, and
that reveals that what she is to them.
Because I mean, Ahsoka has the Force, so she can, she has a better chance of getting out of the trouble that she's in than Trace and Rafa do.
All right, there you go. Thank you again for hanging out with us during the great quarantine of 2020. Praying for you guys. Hope you and your families are safe. Click here if you'd like to subscribe.
And click here if you'd like to see our last review video.
All right, thanks again for hanging out with us. Until the next time we see you,
Maglunky.